Good day, everyone. It's been a few days since I've done a review. I haven't been feeling that well, and I just want to take some time to rest. I probably look like shat right now, but whatever. Today, I want to discuss the Pyjama Girl Case. It's an Arrow Video Blu-ray. It's a giallo film shot in the 70s. It actually takes place in Australia, but it's still an Italian film. It's still dubbed. It still has Italian actors for the most part. Yeah, it's just what you would normally expect from a giallo film, but just shot in Australia. The story behind it, it takes place, like I said, in Australia. There's this girl that's found on the beach. Her body's burnt, and there's a detective, and basically it's not as overly violent as most giallo films. Like Argento films have the black gloved killer, slicing up beauties and stuff like that, but not this film at all, actually. There's only one murder. It's the Pyjama Girl, and it's basically just the investigators investigating, figuring out who it is. It's a retired detective. He's actually Canadian. The character's Canadian, and he's living in Australia, and he kind of comes out of retirement to kind of help the case and works with another guy. The other guy obviously doesn't want him to help, but blah, blah, blah. So he's kind of doing the investigating and on the sidelines, and he kind of provides some comic relief during certain scenes. There is some funny stuff with him. But also at the same time, and I'm going to spoil it here, folks, because in order to discuss the film, I kind of have to spoil how the film is laid out. So if you don't want to watch any further, I can just tell you right away, Pyjama Girl Case is a great film to watch. Definitely is a great film, and the Blu-ray is really good. If you want to skip to the end and see what I watched about the Blu-ray, I'll put a little timestamp down at the bottom in the information section. So, the Pyjama Girl Case, as you're watching the investigation, at the same time, you're seeing a story about a girl, which is played by Linda Blythe. That's a sad story of Dutch immigrant Linda Blythe, who is Dalilia Di Lazzaro, who is in Phenomena. So you're seeing, yes, the sad story of her, and as you're watching the film, you're like, whoa, this is really disjointed. It's like it keeps cutting from the investigation, and it cuts back to this girl who's like kind of sleeping with a bunch of men, but she's also falling in love with this Italian waiter, and you're like, what is going on? But it turns out that the girl is actually the girl that at the beginning of the film died on the beach, and you're seeing her story at the same time that the investigation is happening. It's all concurrent. It's like they kind of spliced it together so that everything's happening at the same time. So you get bits and pieces in the investigation. You get to hear information like, she had sex with two men just before she was found murdered. And then as the film it goes back to her story, you see kind of what happened. It's not what you think happened, and different stuff like that. It's really cool how they laid it out, and it is actually a kind of a sad story. She's just this girl that just wants a normal life, and she can't meet a normal man. The events that lead up to how she dies it's a tragic tale, basically. But you still have that kind of investigative side of it, thriller-esque story, but it's a weird giallo. It's not what you think it's going to be. It's an interesting film. That's what I said. It's just a very interesting film. It actually is based on a real case, the Pyjama Girl case, and same kind of thing. Victim was found burnt on the beach. Says here, inspired by the real case which baffled the Australian police and continues to spark controversy and unanswered questions to this day. The Pyjama Girl Case is uniquely haunting later-day giallo from the tail end of the genre's boom period. Yeah, so it features a melancholic score by veteran composer Riz Ortolani. Don't torture a duckling. Yeah, so that's the Pyjama Girl Case. Really good film. Really good. The Blu-ray, right here, Arrow Video's Blu-ray. It's kind of blurry. Sorry. There we go. Really cool cover to it. it has a brand new 2K restoration of the film. There is bits and instances whew, that happen during the film where the degradation of the quality of the video. There is degradation. There is some dirt. There is some debris. The color kind of, it looks a little weird at times. Nothing that will take you out of the film. Overall, it's actually really well done looking film. High definition Blu-ray. Okay, blah blah blah. Original lossless mono Italian and English soundtracks. So there's actually newly translated English subtitles for the Italian soundtrack, and then there's optional English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing for the English soundtrack. New audio commentary by Troy Howard, author of So Deadly, So Perverse, 50 Years of Italian Giallo Films. He's been included on a lot of Arrow releases before, especially with the Giallo films. New video interview with the author and critic Michael McKenzie on the internationalism of the Giallo. That was actually a really interesting interview with him. He kind of just talks about the Giallo industry and like all the films in general, and then he goes into discussion of this film. A new video interview with actor Howard Ross, who plays one of the men that the girl sleeps, that she's kind of partnered with. He has really striking blue eyes. You probably know him in some other films. I don't know if it lists here. No, not sure. I've seen him in another Giallo-esque film, New York Ripper. Actor. Okay, new video interview with editor Alberto Taglavia. New video interview with assistant director for Ruscio Castronuovo. Archival interview with composer Riz Ortolani. The music in this, I mean, there actually is songs. There's songs, singing songs, but then there's an instrumental track that sounds amazing. It sounds super amazing. I'm going to put it at the end. I'm going to put it during our little Callsploitation exo there, where it ends. I'm going to have that music theme dubbed over it, so you'll get to hear a little bit of it. If you stick around, that is. We got an image gallery, Italian theatrical trailer. We have a reversible sleeve, which I'll show you. And let's see what's on the inside. Can you believe, this is kind of a tangent, but Arrow Video MVD posted that this is one of the most popular movies, We Are the Flesh. This is a terrible fucking movie. I'm sorry, this is absolutely god-awful trash. That's just my opinion, right? We have the booklet. Look at that. Yeah, there's this like weird scenario that happens in the movie where they put the victim on display so they can see if the killer shows up. It's weird. It's a weird part of the film. Yeah, there's her on display. Look at that booty. Actually, I want to show you a picture of her. She's a striking lady. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful woman. Absolutely beautiful. We have, let's see here, the book has cast and crew, and then Stranger Than Fiction, Immigration, Alienation, and The Real Pyjama Girl. And then it has about the restoration. So let's talk about the restoration. Okay, about the restoration, about the transfer. The Pyjama Girl Case is presented in its original aspect ratio of 1:85:1 with Italian and English mono audio. Scanning and restoration work was completed at La Immagine Ritrovati Bologna. Oh my god, whatever. The original 35mm camera negative was scanned in 2K resolution at a I guess I'm not 100% yet. On a pin-registered Aeroscan. Thousands of instances of dirt, debris, scratches, picture instability, and other instances of film wear were repaired or removed through a combination of digital restoration tools and techniques. The mono Italian and English language tracks were remastered from original sound negatives. The audio sync will appear slightly loose against the picture due to the fact that the dialogue was recorded entirely in post-production, as per the production standards of the period. The film was graded on Digital Vision's Nucoda Filmmaster at R3 Store Studios, London. All original materials used in the restoration were accessed from Surf Film. Restoration supervised by James White, Arrow Films. Yeah, so that's it. And then you can kind of just see the lengthy essay on the film. And then the alternate sleeve is this one here, which features the beautiful lady and the body right there on display. And then there's the detective. So that's it. So that is the Pyjama Girl Case on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. I thought the film was fantastic. I thought it was a fantastic film. It's funny that it's like based on an Australian story and it's filmed in Australia, but it's such an Italian film. It's so Italian. Everything's so Italian about it. It actually has no, that's a different film I'm thinking about. That's actually the next film I'm going to think about. I thought it was a guy from Pieces, but that's my next film that I watched. Anyways, whew, too many movies, too many Italian films. But yes, the Pyjama Girl Case on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. It is a recommend from yours truly, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. You probably skipped around a little bit, but like I said, if you stayed through it, you get to enjoy this amazing little bit of music that I fell in love with the Pyjama Girl Case, starting now.